Enjoying the journey is what I'm trying to do in this world. I'm not trying to rush anything or go too quickly. I have played 100 days already and I'm still in iron gear. So today I want to upgrade my gear to diamond, but I'm not going to do it the villager way. I'm going to actually go mining for diamonds. I also want to explore to find some mangrove because that's the one tree that we don't have. And then I want to build something cool that we can store some villagers in. So my plan for the villagers is I don't want to do one trading hall for them all. I want to have each villager type to have its own house. And the villager that we're going to be working with is going to be the armor and the toolsmith. I want to put them in a blacksmith shop. But before that, let's go ahead and grab some tools and I'm gonna go exploring. I saw a mangrove swamp not too far from here, so I'm gonna get a bunch of these pieces of equipment that I might need to go over to the mangrove swamp, get some mangrove as well as some mud, and see what we can do with that. As I said before, I'm trying to enjoy this world and just enjoy the journey a little bit more. Not rush to get any big type of farms in place or even get elytra right away, but I just want to enjoy the process of playing, build some super basic farms each episode, take my time, and yeah, just enjoy the early game as well. I always tend to rush through the game and try to get max out farms, maxed gear like instantaneously, and sometimes you kind of lose the joy of that early game survival type of feeling. Another thing I want to do is to have my builds have a purpose. So each build is going to have a farm in it, or maybe store a villager in it, or really sort of make the world feel alive. Also, I want to make it so that there's a reason to come back to my builds later on in the series. I really want to make it feel spread out and add a lot of life to it. I see the mangrove swamp in the distance here, so that's perfect. This seed has a lot of really nice biomes really close, so I don't have to go traveling for ages to find anything. There's no point in bringing the donkey across here, so I'm just going to tie him right here. I also need to name him in this episode. I did fish up a name tag, so we're gonna come up with a cool name for him sometime. Not sure if it's this episode. If you have an idea, just leave it in the comment below. The first thing I want to do here is get some of these propagules so that we can regrow some closer to our base as well. I think that's probably enough of the propagules, and I'm just going to go and chop some of these trees down as well as dig up a bunch of this mud. I also love the muddy mangrove roots, so we might add some of that to our build today as well. We got a lot of mud. Now we're going to get some of this mangrove wood. I'm just using some shears to get rid of some of these leaves, and then we can chop down the wood here. I think that's enough mangrove wood there. We're just going to head home. I can always chop down more later, so we should be good to go here. I think now I have every single wood type except the ones in the nether, and I am not ready to go to the nether yet, but I am ready to go down and mine some diamonds. So I'm gonna bring my fortune 3 pick and we're gonna try and get some diamonds. I know that you can get diamond gear by actually just trading with the villagers, but my first diamond gear, all my tools and my armor, I like to mine. It just feels more rewarding to go mining for that, so that's what we're gonna actually do. I made this little mine shaft that goes down to like I believe it is 15 for iron, and I'm just gonna continue that and make it go the whole way down to Y level negative 54. Okay, so we made it to the bottom here, so I'm just gonna make a little room down here, but now we're just gonna strip mine, and I'm gonna use this pick right here, and then whenever I find diamonds, I'll use my fortune 3 pick that I have to get as many diamonds as possible, and hopefully we can get enough for a full set of gear. Also, things like redstone is pretty valuable, so I'm gonna fortune the redstone up too. I'm not building any massive farms yet, but whenever I do build some farms, I'll definitely need some redstone. And just like that, we found our first diamonds. Well, first diamonds like this. I found 2 when I was caving before, but this is, well, that's 9 diamonds. Fortune 3 actually goes a long way. For my gear, I don't want to actually go ahead and do librarians right away. I'm gonna try and enchant everything on the enchanting table, and I also want to fish my first mending book up. And just like that, we found our second vein. I've mined all of this before I found my second vein, so I got lucky right away, and we'll see how much we get here on the second one. Is this an 8 vein. Oh, that's now 7 vein, but still, that's a lot. And with Fortune 3, I get an absolute ton of diamonds. I'm not sure how many diamonds it takes for the total amount, but I'm just gonna keep mining until I don't have any room in my inventory. Then we're gonna go up to the skeleton spawner, try and get some XP and start enchanting some stuff. Alright, so with 35 diamonds, let's see what all we can craft. I'm gonna do 2 pickaxes, one to try and get silk touch and one to get fortune. Then I want a diamond sword, diamond shovel, diamond axe, and a diamond hoe. Those are like the main important things. And then we'll get the gear here as well. Let's see here. Is that actually going to be enough? No, I don't have quite enough for the boots, but I have enough for everything else. Just need just a couple more diamonds. So we'll go down and get those later. And now we're level 30. Let's see what we can get here. I'm going to start with a diamond pick. All right, efficiency 4. Good chance that could be fortune or silk touch. Let's give it a shot. It's just efficiency, but you know, it's better than nothing. Let's keep grinding. All right, I got a bunch of good enchants now on my pick. I also got aqua affinity on my helmet, which is cool. I'm gonna go do some more mining, try and get some more diamonds so that I can make some more picks to try and get fortune and also for some boots. And now we're back here and we have full diamond gear and we're ready to try and enchant everything. Just with the basic stuff, I want to try and get a couple of these picks maxed out, so I'll probably make a couple of them and combine them, because honestly picks are the main important thing as well as an axe. I'm not too worried about my armor because, you know, I'm not playing hardcore or anything, so if I die, it's not a huge deal, or if my armor breaks, I can just make more. I now have some of the basic gear all done. It's not fully enchanted, but it definitely is going to get me somewhere. Also, when I was building out here, I found this villager, and so I trapped him in there. I think I might be my like house guest. I just have to cure him, and I actually did get a potion of weakness from one of those igloos that has the villager in the bottom of it. Maybe I'll figure out a way to put him upstairs, and also I might eventually try to get him to be a mending villager and just keep him in here, since the mending is really the only villager that I really will need long term. So let's go ahead and just throw the weakness potion on him and then give him a golden apple and wait for him to cure, hopefully before long. But next project I want to do is I want to start cleaning up this land out here. It's a pretty big mess, just has this random ravine in it, random holes everywhere, and I want to bring the level up a bit, maybe about this level right here. And this is where we're going to be building our next build. So we're going to need to do a bit of grinding, which is why I wanted to get the shovel done and everything else. So I kind of got caught up in terraforming here, and I cleaned up along the river here as well. I just like to go along and try to smooth it out so there's no sharp corners or anything. And I think it looks kind of cool. Of course, later I'll come in and detail this river, but that's definitely another time and another project. Anyway, so up here we have a nice flat spot, which is where we're going to start building today. And I also want to hopefully build some type of stone retaining wall around here. Yeah, we'll build a nice little path up here and a little bit of a retaining wall. Of course, eventually I'll put in some trees. I'm not quite ready to do tree building because I want to lay out a little bit more where buildings are going to go, but today hopefully we can get a good amount of that done. Now that we have our basic terraforming done over there, I'm just going to gather some materials that I think I'd like to use for the build. So I want to use tuff again for the foundation, and I also want to use some cobblestone. I want to build a blacksmith, so you're going to have some places that are going to be like darker around the furnace and places like that. Okay, so here is the roof gradient that I want to use. I know it seems like a lot of blocks, but I'll probably mostly stick with between the tuff and this deep slate, but use this for the really dark shadowy areas, and then just in a few areas gonna do a little bit of overgrowth, but most of the blocks will be these 4 blocks right here. Next, the top of the walls are gonna be this color. I think this is a fantastic weathered medieval white style of palette. Then last of all, I'm gonna just use this simple stone palette on the bottom foundation part. I think it looks nice, and it also contrasts nicely with the darker top. block there. And then I'm also going to be using this wood gradient here for like the pillars and stuff that connect everything together. So to start out with, we're just going to do something pretty basic and just build a big box here, and we'll add to that later, but at least we'll start getting the general shape. I think this is a pretty nice size. Let's go ahead and stack up maybe around 6 blocks high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on top. I think that looks like a pretty nice shape. And then we're just gonna bring this across here. So now we just connect all of these corners to make a bit of a bigger box. I think this is sort of a nice foundation size. Probably go ahead and build a door somewhere in the middle there. And what I'm thinking is I'll also have a furnace over in this area and maybe another roof, but an open aired roof or something out on this side, and a really big furnace just to make it really feel like a blacksmith shop. All right, so the next step I want to do here is the kind of the medieval style with the classic, you know, wood hanging over the edge, but I am going to add a little bit of a twist, and we are going to do the top a little bit different than the classic medieval. Now we're going to go ahead and try to get the roof shape in here. I find that it's easier to go up and over than to try to go over and build up, because then you have to break one below and then you lose that block. I actually think here I might actually want to go up 2 blocks. That way we can get the slope started here. So I'm just going to go up 2 blocks there, and then I think 2 blocks here as well. And that's the peak right here. It kind of curves up and then goes up here. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and then we'll see how it actually looks from the ground. Yeah, I like that shape. I think that's pretty nice. I think I want to come out 1 more block. So I might do a slab, 2 slabs on the edge there. And of course, we're going to bring it out this direction as well. And yeah, I'm going to get the rest of this roof shaped in on the other side and start connecting it together. All right, so I got the 3 stages here pretty much shaped out. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in each one of them with the blocks that I want to use. So on the bottom here, I'm just going to fill this in with tuff. Let's add some of these wooden pillars here in the middle just to break it up a little bit. And then I'm thinking we could do some type of a big window right here in the middle. Another thing I like to do, which I feel like is a little bit underrated and not too expensive, is adding this barrel on this side. Gives it such a great texture over here. So I think I might do that for like a windowsill there. I think that looks pretty nice. Barrels are not actually that expensive when you think about it, especially for all the beautiful textures you get. Like you get some textures like that, and then you also get the texture like that there too, which I think it looks pretty nice. I think I want this window to be too wide, so I'm just going to put some bone blocks at the top because it's darker and calcite at the bottom like that. I like to try to use fake depth, so I'm just going to do that to get the blocks started. And we're just going to do upside down and diorite stairs like this the whole way around the build. You can kind of see that what I'm doing here, so I'm going to do that on the bottom of each one of these walls and then add the white blocks to the top. But I really love using stairs when it comes to things like that without having to actually indent the wall like the classic medieval style is. So a lot of times when you build walls, you do this and you build the blocks, and then you put the wall behind, and then you build another block like this. But then you end up with a 2 deep wall. This wall right here, you actually only end up with a 1 deep, and you could do lots of things to make the wall feel like it's a little bit deeper, like things like, you know, using the stairs. You can also put signs and trapdoors on the outside like that without making it much deeper. So we'll be using lots of those techniques for this build without actually going and making it 2 blocks thick. Another big reason I actually like doing these walls like this with this interior is because you get a nice inside and an outside. Using the other technique with the 2 deep blocks, you really don't get a very nice inside. But I think this is nice. We'll still do a little bit of texturing later, but you can see the texturing is already looking really good on those walls. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of the roof with all of this cobbled deep slate. And for the edges here up at the top, I think I want to go out
2 blocks. So I'm gonna do a slab there and then a slab like that. So you can see it kind of tapers out and it does give a nice overhang here. I'm also gonna go ahead and add 2 more blocks like this because I want the overhang to come 2 blocks in this direction. I like to have nice overhangs. I feel like it actually looks really nice and just adds to the general appeal, and plus you can add a lot of details underneath, you know, bigger overhangs. So I really like this. Now I'm just gonna fill in this section here. Then I think I want to start sectioning off this over here where I build the furnace and everything else before we get back into adding more details here. But yeah, that roof is now all shaped out and I think it is looking pretty nice. Now we're gonna go ahead and build the lean-to for the furnace. I tend to build boxes connected to each other but like at angles. Kind of did that over here, but this is a little bit different and I'm gonna leave this all open. Probably put a furnace somewhere around right there with a chimney sticking out the roof of this little lean-to. I'm one of those people who always runs away and looks at it from a distance just to sort of get an idea, but I like the shape. I think I'll bring it out 1 block further out so there's a little bit of an edge in the front, and then I'll make it go the whole way down to the back. And that's the roof all done here. It's nicely connected around this section right here. Now before I do any more detailing, I want to get this furnace blocked in here. So I think a 5x5 furnace would be big enough, and I like that. We'll put lots of anvils and other things to detail around here. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think I'm actually going to go ahead and make this a solid wall back here. So I'm just going to make it out of the wood blocks, like stripped dark oak and stripped spruce. Yeah, I like that. I think that was pretty cool. I now want to work on filling out the end of this roof right here by just filling it out with some more spruce, and I think I want to do another layer of calcite possibly. So let me just come in here with calcite and lay a layer like this. Then we'll add this layer of spruce right here, and then I think I'll just go ahead and strip this all down. I think I'm going to just add some of these stairs right here. I want that to sort of hold it up. I want the wall to come out 1 more block here, and then I'll put these logs on top of those stairs to just give it a little bit of depth. Now that I have this little extension right here, I'm just going to put dark oak and spruce, every other one, kind of like I did below on that other little lean-to. I'm now just going to place some of these stairs here and a trapdoor like this on either side, and I think that looks pretty great. Now I can just run stairs like this underneath, and then a trapdoor, and then a stair the whole way down on both of these sides. I always like to add those nice overhangs. That way you can actually put some details under here and really make it pop. There we go. I like how that looks. That turned out nice. But let's come over here and do a little bit of detailing on the door and the window right there. A lot of times to try to add depth, I like adding trapdoors vertically, and you can just put that along the sides like this, and it gives it a nice wood trim vibe. And then you can put the trapdoors on top of each other by just jumping and crouching, and then you can just put a couple of the gates like that, and that's a really simple door, but I think it looks pretty nice, and it really works well for something like this.
I think I've walked you through enough building now, so why don't we jump into a time lapse and get this build finished.
I now have this place all set up with anvils, cauldrons, and a bunch of storage and wood and some cobwebs and everything else just to make it feel really nice. The floor is also textured really nice. I like how it feels.
I went ahead and laid out the interior here, and this is going to be sort of a storefront, and I'm going to put 3 villagers back behind there, armorer, toolsmith, and weaponsmith, but they'll be able to free range back here. That'll sort of make it be like they're servicing the customers that might come into this shop. Then up here, I did leave it all empty for now. I will probably add something up here later, but right now I don't really need this space. The idea is that each house that I build has a purpose, and I can put different villagers in different builds and continue to go back to them instead of putting all my villagers in one big hole. But now I'm gonna go up here and get 3 villagers and bring them down. I really don't have the time and energy to actually go through making a rail track down here, so a boat is going to do. It might not be the quickest way, but it will get the job done. And just like that, we got all 3 villagers in place. Now let me go and carefully break the boats here. And yeah, I'm trying not to kill the villagers. All right, we got all... yeah, never mind. I thought they couldn't get over that. Oh, it's a mess. They're trying to find a bed. Hang on 1 second. Let me just put a bed back here. Ah, no, come on. No, dude, come on. Oh, let's see here. I didn't make it villager proof. I did not make it villager proof. Let's just go right back in here. Okay, great, thank you. And, where are you? Where's the, okay, the other 2 are right here. All right, perfect. I guess they can jump up on these. I was thinking they couldn't jump up on this, but I guess that is not the case. Let me just, you know, I'm just gonna take this back for now, and I'm going to bring them back inside. Yep, so much for me being smart with villagers. Their workstations are back here, so they should all want to come back here. And we'll just put that there. Now they shouldn't be able to get out. I am absolutely not smart at all, but anyway, that worked out. Now I got my, what is it, armorer, toolsmith, and weaponsmith all in here, and they got their workstations right here, so we should be good on that front. And what I'll probably do is I'll make a storage room in here and have a chest for each item that they make. So I'll have one for each piece of armor, one for each piece of tool and weapon that they might craft. And this is where I'll store it so that I can actually have a reason to come back here. Plus the sound of them working is like the clanging sound that you would hear in a blacksmith shop. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, regardless of the fact that they almost escaped on me. And just like that, we are all done. I made a basic path over here. I will be cleaning this up later. I want to do something in between here. I'm not 100% sure what yet, but so I don't want to make any type of permanent path, but this is what we got going. I came over here and just put a bunch of barrels and stuff to make this feel like maybe a overflow storage. You could tie a horse to this. I think this looks pretty cool. I always like detailing with lots of these blocks. It just adds intrigue and other things, including things that you don't normally see, like pistons, and I think this looks pretty cool. Then you just take this path over here, and this is the furnace area that we built. I'm really happy with how it turned out, including I really like this with the lava and the smoke. And then we're going to just enter here, and we have our villagers. They're crowded over there, but they add the great noise whenever they work at their tables. It sounds like blacksmith, and there's grinding and all of that. And up here, it's not completed. I will definitely add something later once I figure that out. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.